Welcome to the deep dive. We take a stack of sources. Today, it's the Microsoft Build 2025 Keynote transcript, and we pull out the crucial insights you need.
Exactly.
Our mission today, specifically for you, the learner, is to give you that clear shortcut. What were the big announcements, the surprising bits? Why does it all matter? All without, the fire hose effect.
Yeah, think of it as your curated briefing. We're finding the signal in all the noise, helping you really get what's significant here.
Okay, let's get right into it then. The keynote kicked off with this big vision moving towards an open agentic web. Now that sounds a bit academic, maybe? What's the core idea? Why should we care?
Well, what's interesting is how they framed it. They're comparing it to huge platform shifts in the past.
Yeah.
Win32, the web itself, cloud, and mobile.
Right.
They're basically saying, look, we're in the middle stages of another massive change in how we use tech.
So it's moving away from just individual apps doing their own thing in isolation towards something more interconnected. It sounds like the goal is empowering developers to build not just apps, but these intelligent agents that can kind of work across different services for everybody.
Precisely. It's a shift from, you having to jump between apps to agents proactively bringing the right stuff to you wherever you happen to be working. A much more dynamic feel.
And the foundation for that, obviously, is the tools developers use. They shared some, frankly, staggering numbers: 50 million users for Visual Studio Family,
Yeah.
150 million on GitHub, and over 15 million already using GitHub Copilot. That's a huge base.
Those numbers are massive. They really show Microsoft's footprint, right?
Yeah.
And that Copilot adoption, 15 million plus, that really signals how much AI is becoming just part of coding now.
And they're definitely not resting on their laurels. They rolled out a bunch of updates for Visual Studio, support for .NET 10 already.
Showing commitment.
Features like live preview, which seems like it would really speed up UI work, getting that instant feedback, plus better Git tools, a cross-platform debugger, and monthly stable releases now. They seem really focused on productivity.
Absolutely. These all hit key parts of the workflow, making the IDE faster, more versatile. And the monthly releases, that suggests a more sort of agile approach to getting new stuff out there.
VS Code also hit its 100th release, better multi-window support, a cleaner staging view, and for the enterprise folks using GitHub, the message was clear: trust, security, compliance, auditability, data residency, the essentials.
Yeah, for big companies, especially in regulated areas, those are non-negotiables. Highlighting that shows they get what their big customers absolutely need.
Okay, now this is where I think it gets really interesting. The deep dive into AI integration in the development process itself. They open sourced Cpilot in VS Code. What's the big deal there?
Open sourcing Cpilot, it signals a commitment to being transparent, letting the community get involved in how these AI coding tools evolve. Developers can see under the hood, contribute back.
And GitHub Copilot itself is evolving incredibly fast. I mean, it started with just code completion.
Yeah, simple suggestion.
Then chat, multi-file edits, and now they're talking agents. They even mention agent mode for things like app modernization, like upgrading frameworks or moving older apps to the cloud, with Copilot kind of guiding you.
That evolution is really key. It's moving beyond just suggesting a line of code here and there. It's becoming more like a real collaborator on bigger, more strategic tasks, like modernizing a whole application.
They also showed off an autonomous SRE agent site reliability engineering designed to handle those middle-of-the-night incidents.
The dreaded pager alerts.
Exactly. They used a PagerDuty memory leak as an example. This agent could supposedly triage it, find the root cause, apply a fix, and even log a GitHub issue automatically. That sounds like a game changer for operations teams.
That's a really powerful example, yeah.
Yeah.
Automating that critical operational stuff frees up SREs to be more proactive rather than just constantly fighting fires.
But what really grabbed my attention was this idea of a full coding agent inside GitHub. Like, you assign it a bug fix or a new feature request or some maintenance task, and it just handles it autonomously. That feels like a massive leap.
It definitely sounds ambitious. And the story they told about giving Copilot a bug, adding a filter for user group size on some page, and having it actually create a pull request successfully, that makes the potential feel very real. A big step up in AI understanding complex coding tasks.
But crucially, they stressed, this isn't some rogue AI let loose.
Right. Control is key.
It respects security, works in its own branch, only uses secure communication channels, these MCP servers the developer sets up.
Hmm.
You can even have other agents do code reviews first. It's automation, but with guardrails.
That focus on security and developer control is absolutely vital. You need that to build trust and get people to actually adopt these powerful AI agents in their real workflows.
And they're opening up these core AI capabilities to partners too, letting them build their own ecosystem of secure agents. Plus, Sam Altman from OpenAI popped up virtually,
Yeah, I saw that.
talking about their Codex agent and his view on where software engineering is heading.
Sam Altman's perspective, talking about real agent coding experiences and task delegation, that adds weight, right?
Yep.
It validates the direction Microsoft's going and underlines how transformative these agents could be.
Altman mentioned the next AI models getting smarter, easier to use, more reliable, things like multimodality, understanding different kinds of data, and better tool integration. He pointed to ChatGPT and Codex as examples of these sort of stateful agentic apps and said, this conference is about helping developers build things like that. His advice: embrace the change, lean into the new tools.
That message about the pace of change and needing to adopt new tools is crucial for developers right now. And the anecdote about early Codex users inside OpenAI seeing big productivity jumps, that just drives home the potential benefits.
Okay, shifting gears a bit. They moved on to Microsoft 365 as a platform for agents. The latest M365 Copilot, now generally available. They're calling it the biggest update since Teams. It brings together chat, search, notebooks, creation tools, and, agents.
This feels like a major strategic push, embedding AI really deep into the tools we use every day for work, bringing all that together, chat, grounded in your work data, search across everything, creating content in one place. That could seriously boost productivity.
They talked about specialized agents within 365 Copilot, like researcher to summarize stuff from the web and your company's internal files, an analyst for pulling insights and charts from raw data. The idea is basically putting expertise right there for you, and you just call them up using app mentions in Teams or Copilot. Seems easy.
Yeah, making these specialized agents accessible through familiar places like Teams, that lowers the barrier to entry. It integrates AI help right into where people are already collaborating.
The Teams AI library is supposed to make building these multiplayer agents easier, and now there's an agent store. So developers can publish their agents, get them discovered across Copilot and Teams, reaching potentially millions of users. They showed examples from Workday, ServiceNow, LSEG. That's a big opportunity.
Definitely. It opens up a distribution channel for developers, creating specialized AI tools that plug into major enterprise platforms, extends their reach massively.
Then they introduced Copilot Studio for building your own custom agents, new stuff like KUA agent and MCP agent flows, and importantly, orchestrating workflows with multiple agents working together. The new hire onboarding example made that clear, and they said over 1 million agents connecting to Copilot and Teams have already been built. That's incredible activity.
Wow, 1 million already. That really shows the interest and the adoption rate for building custom agents. And the multi-agent orchestration in Copilot Studio, that's critical for tackling real-world business processes that need coordination.
And taking it even further, Copilot tuning. This lets companies build agents fine-tuned on their own data, their workflows, even their communication style. It can apparently learn a company's unique tone from just a few examples,
Right.
like a law firm using past arguments or a consultancy tailoring models for specific industries. That sounds powerful.
Copilot tuning really hits that need for organizations to adapt general AI to their specific world, getting more relevant, accurate, sort of on-brand results that know the company's context.
Needy gave a demo showing the new M365 Copilot app, Copilot Studio, Copilot tuning, all working together. It looked surprisingly smooth, actually. Building connectors in Visual Studio, creating an RFP response agent with multiple agents working together, then fine-tuning it for contract writing using example docs. The message seemed to be, you can scale productivity with these tools.
Yeah, the demos made it tangible, showed how you could use these tools for practical business problems, emphasizing that low-code approach and how it all integrates across the Microsoft stack.
Okay, let's dive into Foundry. They're positioning this as the app server for the AI age. Big claim.
It is.
Emphasizing the shift to apps that are stateful, understand multiple data types, use multiple agents. They called Foundry a production line for intelligence. The focus isn't just the model, but everything around it. Evil, orchestration, RAG, retrieval augmented generation.
Foundry really represents that next step, right? A full platform for building and running these more complex AI apps, and focusing on the system around the model is key production art. AI needs way more than just a good model.
They said 70,000 plus orgs are already using Foundry and processed over 100 trillion tokens in the last 3 months. That's 5x year-over-year growth. And that story from Japan, the app helping people with auditory processing disorder, that shows the real impact.
That specific example really lands the point, doesn't it? How Foundry can enable apps that make a real difference in people's lives. Shows the positive potential.
Foundry offers a huge choice of models. The latest from OpenAI, Day 1 access. Sora, the text-to-video model, is coming soon. They also stressed Azure OpenAI's Enterprise guarantees reliability, cost control, security, compliance, safety, and this new model router that automatically picks the best model for a task. That sounds super useful for optimization.
Giving that wide model choice, plus the enterprise safety net, and smart features like the model router, that really simplifies things for developers and addresses major concerns for businesses deploying AI at scale.
And some pretty big news here. Grok, Elon Musk's AI from xAI, is coming to Azure. They highlighted its reasoning skills.
Interesting move.
Musk even chimed in with his vision for Grok reasoning from first principles, aiming for truth, minimal bias, and he wants developer feedback. Apparently, you'll be able to provision compute throughput, they called it once on Foundry, and use it across models, including Grok.
Adding Grok definitely broadens the high-end AI options, especially for reasoning tasks. Musk's involvement in call for feedback underlines how important the developer community is in shaping this stuff.
They also announced Mistral is available, with EU data sovereignty options, and the full Llama Herd Metas models are coming too. Plus, an expanded partnership with Hugging Face, giving access to over 11,000 open source models in Foundry. That's just incredible choice.
Yeah, that commitment to offering both top proprietary models and a huge range of open source ones, plus data location options, that caters to pretty much any need or preference developers might have globally.
For our ag apps, remember, augmenting AI with external knowledge, they said you need more than basic vector search now. Talked about a modern knowledge retrieval stack. And the Foundry agent service, now generally available, lets you build agents declaratively, orchestrate them, and it integrates with frameworks like Semantic Kernel and Autogen.
That focus on better retrieval makes sense. Smarter agents need smarter ways to find relevant information. And the agent service looks like it simplifies building those complex multi-agent systems.
They offer a full range of compute options in Azure for these agents, serverless, containers, Kubernetes with AKS, even hybrid using Azure Arc. And importantly, Foundry integrates tightly with Copilot Studio. So those fine-tuned models you build in Foundry, easy to use them in Copilot Studio.
That tight integration between Foundry and Copilot Studio is key. It streamlines the whole process, from developing sophisticated models to deploying them in user-facing agents across Microsoft's platforms.
The Stanford Medicine example was powerful, using Foundry to orchestrate tumor board meetings, multiple agents pulling together patient history, radiology, PubMed data, clinical trials. Wow. And now that capability is available to everyone in Foundry, shows the potential impact in really critical areas.
That example really nails the potential of Foundry for complex, vital, real-world problems, especially in fields like medicine, where you have to bring together so many different data points and expert knowledge.
They also hit on observability, being able to monitor AI in production. Foundry's getting new features for tracking impact, quality, safety, cost. And they're extending existing tools like Entra ID, Purview, Defender to cover AI agents too, which seems essential for responsible use.
Absolutely. Those features address the crucial day two problems of managing and governing AI apps in the real world, ensuring accountability, security, responsible deployment at scale.
Kadesh's demo was pretty cool. Using Azure AI Foundry and GitHub Copilot to improve a travel app, used Bing Search to ground the agent with current info, added actions like booking flights. She also showed Copilot in agent mode using MCP Model Context Protocol, tackling assigned issues, even understanding visual designs from Figma, and autonomously fixing bugs.
Yeah, those demos made it very concrete. Relatable examples of how these tools fit into actual development work, showing how easy it can be to integrate AI help and the potential productivity gains.
Then they introduced Foundry Local, bringing that app server power right onto your own machine, Windows and Mac. Positioning Windows itself as an open dev platform with built-in AI, announcing Windows AI Foundry for the whole dev lifecycle across different chips.
Extending the AI platform to local machines and making Windows a hub for it. That opens up really interesting possibilities for on-device AI, edge computing, bringing AI power closer to the user.
Windows AI Foundry comes with a built-in small language model. They called it a 5-silica SLM, and ways to customize models using LoRa adapters. Rich APIs for embedding and indexing local data, enabling hybrid RAG apps using both local and cloud info, and native MCP support in Windows with built-in servers and a registry.
Those features empower developers to build smarter, more personalized apps that use local data and hardware while respecting privacy and user control.
Tiva's demo was pretty slick. Set up Linux, built a website, then updated it from a Figma design using GitHub Copilot and MCP on Windows, all apparently with just 3 sentences. And they announced WSL Windows subsystem for Linux is now fully open source.
That demo really showed the potential power and simplicity, didn't it? Integrating AI and MCP on Windows, making complex tasks seem almost trivial. And WSL going open source is another big nod to developer openness.
Microsoft's CTO, Kevin Scott, then zoomed out a bit, talked about this emerging open agentic web built from shared components and protocols, defined an agent simply as something we can delegate increasingly complex tasks to. And he highlighted the explosion in agent creation and daily use.
Kevin Scott's view provides that useful high-level picture, doesn't it? Emphasizing the collaborative, open nature of this evolving ecosystem. And the rapid growth in agent use just shows people are finding them valuable.
He mentioned the big strides in reasoning capabilities and models, challenging everyone to think bigger, address the need for reliable agent memory, and announced Type Agent, their solution, is being open-sourced and coming to Azure Foundry.
Yeah, boosting reasoning and solving the memory problem are critical steps for making agents truly dependable for complex, long-running jobs.
Scott really stressed the importance of open protocols, like MCP and A2A, so agents and services can connect reliably and work together. He noted MCP's rapid adoption, their work with Anthropic on enterprise challenges using it, and reaffirmed commitment to the open community around it.
That emphasis on open protocols like MCP is so important. It's what enables interoperability, allowing a truly open, interconnected agent web where different pieces can actually work together smoothly.
Then he introduced NL Web, like an innovative way to easily turn websites and APIs into agent apps, making every endpoint an MCP server. He called it HTML for the Agentic Web.
Whoa!
Yeah. Partnering with TripAdvisor, O'Reilly Media, showed an example of putting an intelligent interface on a GitHub repo, pointed people to specific build talks for more detail.
NL Web. That sounds potentially huge. Extending AI agents' reach to the existing web like that, making all that info and functionality accessible through smart interfaces. Very interesting.
And Kevin Scott wrapped up by underscoring again. An open approach is fundamental for the agentic web to really tap into the whole developer community's creativity.
That closing point really rings true. An open, collaborative spirit is needed to unlock the full potential here, much like the early internet itself.
Okay, moving to the crucial role of data, obviously key for all AI apps. They shared examples of companies using Microsoft's data stack, announced SQL Server 2025, talked about tighter integration between data and AI. They're also integrating Cosmos DB directly into Foundry for agent storage conversation history, RE knowledge, things like that.
Right.
Connecting data in Genie spaces and AI functions in Azure Databricks to Foundry too, even embedding LLM responses right into PostgreSQL queries.
These integrations show a really clear strategy. Provide a unified, powerful data platform that's built for AI needs, making it easier for devs to get at, process, and use data in their intelligent apps.
Fabric keeps evolving into that unified data and analytics platform. Now it includes Cosmos DB alongside SQL. They mentioned a digital twin builder in Fabric is available, and introduced shortcut transformations in OneLake, basically, AI-powered ETL using Foundry to simplify data prep.
Yeah, Fabric becoming that single pane of glass for data simplifies things. And AI-powered tools for data transformation. That saves data pros a lot of time, letting them focus more on actual analysis.
And this one I know people will be excited about. Copilot in Power BI, letting you just chat with your data, cross reports, semantic models. And this will also be available in M365 Copilot. That could really democratize data analysis, right?
Oh, yeah. Putting conversational AI into Power BI could make data exploration way more accessible for way more people. Getting insights without needing deep technical skills, that's big.
All right, infrastructure. They tackled that ongoing balancing act. AI performance versus cost, emphasized a systems approach across the whole stack: data center, silicon, software, app server. Their goal: lowest cost, highest scale infrastructure for cloud and AI, focusing on efficiency, like tokens per watt per dollar.
It highlights that constant push for efficiency, right? Driving down AI infrastructure costs is critical for making it accessible and driving more innovation.
Azure is the first cloud with NVIDIA's GB200s online at scale, claiming top performance for a single GB200. Jensen Huang from NVIDIA popped up again,
He was busy.
highlighting the partnership, that incredible 40x speed up over Hopper in just 2 years, stress architectural compatibility, stable ecosystem, how CUDA accelerates diverse workloads.
And that tight partnership with NVIDIA and deploying bleeding-edge hardware with the GB200 shows Azure's commitment to top-tier AI infrastructure. And Jensen's comments really underline the performance gains from integrating hardware and software closely.
Azure's global expansion continues like crazy. Over 70 regions now, 10 new ones in just 3 months. And these new data centers are AI optimized. Liquid cooling, codenamed Maya, more fiber, a super-fast 400 terabit AI network backbone.
That scale of expansion and the focus on purpose-built AI infrastructure just shows the massive investment needed to keep up with the demand for AI compute.
Their own Cobalt ARM-based VMs are powering lots of Microsoft services and partner stuff now. The UK's Met Office is using Azure for a huge weather and climate supercomputer. They also talked up Azure's resilience, compliance, sovereign options, and Azure Local for low latency needs.
Those examples show the sheer breadth and depth of Azure's capabilities, right? Handling all sorts of workloads, meeting tough requirements for performance, reliability, security, compliance across different industries and scenarios.
And finally, they unveiled Microsoft Discovery for Science, a really ambitious vision, accelerating scientific breakthroughs with AI. They see it as a platform for science, like GitHub for devs or M365 for knowledge workers, built on a graph-based knowledge engine Graph R with specialized agents for R&D. John's demo was fascinating, using Discovery to find a new PFAS-free immersion coolant, reasoning over scientific knowledge, generating hypotheses, running experiments iteratively.
Microsoft Discovery?
Yeah, that's a bold move. Applying AI directly to the scientific discovery process itself, that has the potential to really speed up research and innovation across so many fields. The coolant example made it very tangible.
They closed the keynote by circling back, saying all these announcements are about creating opportunity, fueling your ambition, shared stories of developers using these tools. That World Bank study in Nigeria showing Copilot as an effective educational tool was particularly powerful.
Yeah, those stories and the World Bank results really go at home, showing the real value and potential of these technologies to empower people, drive innovation, tackle big challenges.
So as we wrap up this deep dive on the Build 2025 keynote, the big theme is undeniably this rise of an open, intelligent, agentic web. We saw huge steps in developer tools, AI getting woven into everything, coding, productivity, science, all built on massive infrastructure investments. Absolutely. The key takeaway for me is that Microsoft isn't just building models. They're building this whole ecosystem to empower developers and organizations to create a fundamentally new generation of intelligent apps and agents. It's really about reshaping how we interact with tech and the world.
Now, for that final thought to chew on, what are the implications of this emerging open agentic web for you? How might you use these new capabilities, the autonomous agents, the tunable models, the connected platforms to build something groundbreaking or just explore totally new possibilities in your own area? We really encourage you to dig deeper into the specific things that caught your ear today. The future of intelligent tech is certainly moving fast.